So you learn a lot from other travelers, obviously. And I was just talking to a couple. They walked from Ella train station up this way through the tunnel. So I could walk through the tunnel back to Ella, 2 kilometers along the railway tracks. Might just do that. I'm walking back to Ella along the railway tracks. It's about 2 kilometers. And other than meeting a few people along the way, I also met this beautiful cow. Isn't she cute? Looks almost like a Jersey, but it's not. In this incredibly nice scenery that abounds in this area as I look back towards the bridge. After a 40-minute walk along the railway tracks, I approach Ella railway station. In vlog number 26, I took the Tea Country train from Nuwara Eliya to Ella. In this vlog, I take the train from Ella to Badulla, a route that I thought was even more scenic. And just to give you perspective of the whole country, you can see where Badulla is located right in the highlands, the most beautiful part of Sri Lanka. You're viewing Travels with Lobo, a 3-week discovery tour of Sri Lanka. Thank you for joining me. Vlog number 29. In this vlog, I continue to enjoy the spectacular scenery of the Central Highlands by taking a train from Ella to Badulla. I really enjoyed that. And then at the 6-minute mark, I get into Se Perdio En Cuba, a phrase I learned in my Spanish class. It came in very handy here in Ella, as you will see. So, I don't have time to buy a ticket, so I'm going to have to risk it. Typical little station, Halila. Weather's been really great. Every day's been great. So that was my amazing train ride to Badulla. I didn't get a chance to get off the train because the next train was 2 hours later and I didn't have the time to do that. So I missed seeing this little town. And that brings me to my next topic. Se Perdio En Cuba. You may have heard of the Spanish-American War, fought in 1898. And that is when the Spanish lost Cuba and Puerto Rico and the Filipinos, that would be the Philippines, and Guam to the Americans. You may have heard of Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders, who won the Battle of San Juan Hill near Santiago, Cuba, and that basically sealed the deal for the Americans. That was a huge loss of the Spanish Empire, one of the world's great empires that came to an end. To put it bluntly, Spain was never the same again. It was a great, great loss. So in Spain, when they lose something of value that cannot be recovered, they still have this phrase, Se Perdio En Cuba. Meaning, it's not really that serious because we lost a lot more when we lost Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, and Guam, so get over it. I'm glad I learned this phrase in my Spanish class, and it's kind of become a mantra for me. In my 3 days of walking around Ella, I was so enchanted, and I estimate I must have hit the record button about 150 times. Since on the first day of my Asia trip, I lost my Sony AX53 video camera, a real jewel. I lost it. I pretty well lost it. I shot the entire Asia 2019-2020 trip on my Huawei P20 phone. As I said previously, it did a wonderful job, except for the selfie mode. Always overexposed and unusable. Now, the ritual was at the beginning of every day in my trip, I would transfer the videos from my phone to an auxiliary hard drive, as you can see here. As a matter of fact, I would carry 2 of these, one in my suitcase and one in my backpack, just as a, backup. Because I happen to be of the thought that what good is traveling if you forget what you saw? That transfer procedure worked perfectly on my trip, except for, you guessed it, right here in Ella. So, bottom line is I do not have any videos of those 150 times I pressed the record button. Yeah, that was a bit of a shocking revelation, but all I can say, you guessed it, Se Perdio En Cuba. End of story, and the trip goes on without Ella. So I end this vlog with a few photos that I took in Ella. I'm not much of a photo guy, I'm definitely video, but I do have a few photos and a few comments. In Ella, as elsewhere, I was always fascinated by the tuk-tuks. I remember lots of dogs in Ella. They seemed to be all street dogs, and they loved napping, almost in the middle of anywhere. Middle of the road, not the middle, but the side of the road, they'd be sleeping. But what struck me the most is going into a store, it would not be unusual to find a dog napping right at the entrance to the store. Wow. And nobody seemed to bother him. So this is the view in the other direction. Dogs just lying there. Life goes on. That's Ella. Every day around 5 o'clock, I would have my cup of coffee at Buds and Beans Cafe, right near where my hotel was. And they had the best coffee in Sri Lanka, but it was $4 a cup, but it was the best coffee in Sri Lanka. And I end with this memorable shot at the Nine Arches Bridge, a lifetime experience. And why not throw in this one on top of Little Adams Peak? That was a highlight as well. See you next week as I move south towards the coast in Sri Lanka. Thank you so much for viewing, And, well, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. See you next week.